The golden era of muscle cars was all about raw power, jaw-dropping acceleration, and quarter-mile dominance. But which cars ruled the streets back then? We're counting down the fastest muscle cars of the 1970s, ranked by quarter-mile times, and we'll even tell you how much it would cost to own one today. This is why you need to stick around until the end, because the #1 muscle car on our list is worth more than a brand new Ferrari today. Starting it off, the 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 440 may not have been the Hemi model, but it was no slouch. Powered by a 390 horsepower 440 Magnum V8, this Mopar legend could launch from 0 to 60 in just 5.5 seconds. Even on factory tires, it put down an impressive 13.6 2-second quarter-mile run, proving that you didn't need a Hemi to be a serious contender. With its aggressive styling, long hood, and wide stance, the Challenger was built to turn heads just as much as it was built to dominate the streets. And the best part? You could walk into a Dodge dealership in 1970 and buy one for just $4,500, making it a high-performance bargain. Today, good luck finding one for under $100,000, especially in original condition, but don't get too comfortable because the next car on our list takes things up a notch. If you wanted a big block Ford that could embarrass Camaros and Chevelle, the 1970 Torino 429 Super Cobra Jet was your car. With a 375 horsepower 429 cubic inch V8, a drag pack upgrade, and a functional Ram air scoop, this Ford was built for one thing: speed. It was designed to compete with the best muscle cars of its era, offering raw power and aggressive styling that made it a true sleeper on the streets. With a 13.6 2-second quarter mile and 0 to 60 in just 5.3 seconds, it had muscle car fans reconsidering what a Torino could do. Unlike some of its more famous rivals, the Super Cobra Jet was rare and underrated, making it a hidden gem in Ford's muscle car lineup. And it was a bargain back then, costing just $4,200 brand new. Today, be prepared to drop at least $80,000 to $120,000 for a clean one, if you can even find one. A muscle truck on this list? You better believe it. The 1970 El Camino SS 454 LS6 was proof that pickups could be just as fast as muscle cars. Chevy stuffed a 450 horsepower LS6 454 V8 into this street machine, giving it a 5.0 second 0 to 60 time and a quarter-mile time of just 13.44 seconds at 108 miles per hour. It combined the practicality of a truck with the sheer performance of a Chevelle SS, making it one of the most unique muscle vehicles of its time. And here's the crazy part: it was actually one of the cheapest ways to get an LS6 engine in 1970, costing just $3,800. That made it a serious bargain for performance enthusiasts. But today, a clean one will set you back $115,000 plus. And with its rarity and legendary status, values are only climbing. Buick wasn't known for muscle cars, but the 1970 GSX 455 Stage 1 changed everything. With a 360 horsepower 455 cubic inch V8 that secretly made 510 pound-feet of torque, it could smoke the tires at will. 0 to 60 took just 5.4 seconds, and the quarter mile flew by in 13.38 seconds, putting it in the same league as the best from Chevy and Dodge. At $4,800 when new, the GSX was a luxury muscle car bargain, offering high-end comfort with brutal performance. Only 678 were ever built, making it one of the rarest and most desirable Buicks ever. Today, it's a collector's dream, with prices easily hitting $150,000 plus, proving that Buick's brief foray into muscle cars left a lasting legacy. The Plymouth Roadrunner was all about raw power at an affordable price. For just $4,000 in 1970, you could get one with the legendary 426 Hemi producing 425 underrated horsepower. That meant 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds and a quarter-mile time of 13.34 seconds at 107.5 miles per hour. It had no unnecessary luxuries, just pure muscle and performance, making it one of the most bang-for-your-buck street machines of the era. It was built to dominate the the drag strip, and with its lightweight body and heavy-duty suspension, it quickly became a nightmare for competitors. Today, original Hemi Roadrunners fetch over $110,000, and with their rarity and legendary status, their value will likely keep rising. If you wanted a 1970 Challenger RT with maximum performance, you check the 426 Hemi box. The 425 horsepower beast was paired with a 4-speed manual and 4.10 gears, launching it to 60 miles per hour in just 5.1 seconds and completing the quarter mile in 13.10 seconds at 117 miles per hour. Built for raw acceleration, the Hemi Challenger wasn't just fast, it was an absolute powerhouse on the streets and the strip, often leaving its competition in the dust. Back then, it was yours for just $4,500, a serious investment at the time. But today, try $350,000 plus if you can even find one. With limited production numbers and skyrocketing demand, the Hemi Challenger has become one of the most sought-after mopers in history, a car that defines the golden era of American muscle. The Chevelle SS454 LS6 was the most powerful muscle car GM ever built, a true heavyweight in the horsepower wars of 1970. With 450 officially rated horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, this beast had more power than many race cars of its time. But just like other legendary muscle cars, GM underrated its true output, with many believing the LS6 actually made well over 500 horsepower, making it one of the most brutally powerful street machines of the era. When paired with a 4-speed manual transmission and a 3.55 rear axle, the LS6 Chevelle blasted to 60 miles per hour in just 5.4 seconds and tore through the quarter mile in 13.12 seconds at 107.1 miles per hour. Those were jaw-dropping numbers for a full-size muscle car that still had room for 4 passengers and a trunk full of groceries. Unlike some muscle cars that struggled with traction, the Chevelle's balanced weight distribution and aggressive gearing made it a true highway terror, capable of effortlessly smoking the tires in first and second gear. And the best part? You could buy one for just $4,500 in 1970, making it a serious performance bargain for anyone looking to own the streets. But today, an original LS6 Chevelle has become a 6-figure collector's item, often selling for $330,000 plus at auctions, with pristine, low-mileage examples going for even more. Few muscle cars command the same level of respect and desirability, and if you're lucky enough to see one in person, you're looking at one of the greatest muscle cars ever built. The 1971 Chevrolet Corvette LS6 was a rare powerhouse. Combining big block brute force with the agility of America's most famous sports car. Under the hood sat the 454 cubic inch LS6 V8, officially rated at 425 horsepower, but believed to be pushing closer to 450 horsepower. This made it the most powerful Corvette engine available at the time, and it was paired with a close ratio Muncie 4-speed manual transmission, ensuring that all that muscle went straight to the pavement. With 0 to 60 in just 5.3 seconds and a quarter-mile time of 13.8 seconds at 105 miles per hour, the LS6 Corvette was among the fastest American cars of its era. Unlike some muscle cars built for straight-line speed, the LS6 Corvette offered superior handling, making it a true dual threat on both the drag strip and winding back roads. In 1971, this beast cost around $7,600, making it one of the most expensive Corvettes of the time. Today, a pristine LS6 Corvette is a 6-figure collector's item, often selling for $365,000 plus at auction, a testament to its rarity, performance, and place in Corvette history. But as fast as this Corvette was, Dodge had one last trick up its sleeve. Dodge was determined to dominate the muscle car wars, and the 1970 Challenger RT 426 Hemi proved they weren't playing around. Rated at 425 horsepower, this beast was built for straight-line speed. But what really set the Hemi Challenger apart was the way it delivered that power, brutally and effortlessly. Unlike some muscle cars that struggled with traction, the Challenger's well-balanced chassis and heavy-duty suspension made sure that all that horsepower actually made it to the pavement. When paired with a 4-speed manual transmission and 4.10 rear gears, the Hemi Challenger blasted from 0 to 60 in just 5.1 seconds and crushed the quarter mile in 13.10 seconds at 117.12 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest mopars of all time. Dodge engineers didn't just build this car to look aggressive, they designed it to strike fear in anything lining up next to it at a stoplight or drag strip. Back in 1970, this car had a sticker price of around $4,500, a hefty sum at the time, but today, if you want an original Hemi Challenger with a 4-speed, expect to pay $350,000 or more, if you can even find one. With its limited production numbers and high demand among collectors, these cars rarely come up for sale, and when they do, they command jaw-dropping prices. And yet, despite all that power and speed, one muscle car still managed to take the top spot. The Plymouth Hemi Cuda was the undisputed king of the muscle car world. With its 426 Hemi V8 pumping out 425 horsepower, it could rocket to 60 miles per hour in just 5.0 seconds and demolish the quarter mile in 13.04 seconds at 117 miles per hour. But beyond the numbers, this car had an attitude unlike any other. Everything about it, from the bold Cuda badging and optional shaker hood scoop to the unmistakable roar of the Hemi, screamed pure dominance. This wasn't just another muscle car, it was built to be a street legal dragster. Chrysler reinforced the entire structure to handle the immense torque, adding heavy-duty suspension, beefier drivetrain components, and improved cooling. With a 4-speed manual and 4.10 gears, the Hemi Cuda was a drag strip terror, capable of embarrassing almost anything that dared to challenge it. While it was officially rated at 425 horsepower, many believe the real output was closer to 450, making it one of the most underrated engines of the era. Back in 1970, a Hemi Cuda coupe cost around $4,500, which was a steep price compared to other muscle cars. That's why only 652 hardtops and 14 convertibles were built with the 426 Hemi. But for those who checked that legendary option box, they got one of the most brutal muscle cars ever made. And if you wanted the ultimate rarity, the Hemi Cuda convertible was the holy grail. With just 14 ever built, these cars have become some of the most valuable muscle cars in existence, with pristine examples selling for over $3 million at auction. Even the hardtop models regularly sell for around $500,000, proving just how legendary this machine truly is. The Hemi Cuda's legend lives on because it represents the peak of the golden muscle car era, a no-compromise street machine built for raw performance at a time when emissions laws and fuel crises were just beginning to take their toll on American muscle. Today, it remains one of the most iconic mopars of all time, a dream car for collectors, and a symbol of American muscle at its absolute finest. YouTube just handpicked a video for you to watch next, so click that one next to keep watching more.